All right, you guys, so we're back. Happy Saturday. First off, we're going to get right into this slab. We got a bunch to go over, and we want to show you some really cool stuff along the way. First things first, let me show you this. This is our rotary little tool, and it's a special little guy. It's got 6 speeds on it. It's digital, and it's got a really cool extension on it, like a pin. So you can actually grab this just like a pin, and you can sit here and be precise and very detailed. It's got a really cool LED screen. When it comes on, you hit it again, it's in pause mode. So we can change the settings right here. Once it's on, it goes all the way up. It screams at you, Tom. It goes all the way up to 6 or down as 1. So, you know, it's really good with like the RPMs and stuff like that. If you find yourself in one of these holes and you're doing a lot of bouncing and jerking it, then you can just turn your machine down a notch, lessen the RPMs a little bit smoother transition. Look, check it out. I'll show you a little one. So it makes it really good for cleaning out. You know, wood has its own little character, its own gashes, if you will, and its own things that it does by itself. So we don't want to take any of that away. We're just trying to fine tune, open it up, get back down in here to the wood and get a lot of this old resin out. And here's why. This is one of several tools we'll need, but this is a great little machine here. It's great to have. Moving on down. This is pretty simple. These just all need to be really cleaned out real good. The bottom side, the back side has 10 times more. When we get into flipping this, you'll see that may even be our finished side at the end of this. But these are pretty simple. They're very, very deep. Along with these are deep enough because why I want to show you that is we have a slight problem. So right there, let me put this down here so you can see it. Check that out. There you go. So that is roughly about 3/16 quarter inch of a cupping there. Dead center. So in other words, it's not completely flat. So we already know when we send this through the planer later, the middle of this is going to hardly get no passes on it. It's our lowest point. The outer, as we go out, and I can feel it when I do this, we're sitting here at a slight incline. We got some cupping right here in the middle. So this is definitely going to get minimum a quarter inch off this side and probably duplicated on the other side. So that all has to be thought about when we are routing all this out. Because if I sit here and spend, 20 minutes getting this guy deep, and if it goes through the planer after and I wasn't below that quarter inch, then it's going to totally disappear and I did all that work for nothing. So you got to keep that in mind when we're digging all this out. Like I said, all these are good. These are even good. Where it gets tricky, knowing that we have cupping in the piece, is down here. And I want to show you something. This is actually a black color that has come out from the wood. We feel when the epoxy hit it, it turned it. Because look, let me show you this. This is what Tom stumbled across. We were trying to figure out if there was black resin down in here or clear resin that turned black, and we actually figured it out. The reason this right here is cloudy is because one of two things. That is either a cheap resin or the mix ratio was not done properly. So it's one of the two as to why you get that cloudy. And another reason why we think it was the mix ratio, because it did not cure correctly. Check this out right here. See how that's still sticky? So that's exactly what happens when your resin does not mix properly. Okay, it was not the correct temperature in the room. It didn't cure correctly. These are all stems of that. So the fact that we know that this one's clear, these are foggy, that all stems back to not mixing correctly and a cheaper resin. So we're pretty confident These right through here are very, what seems to be to us, shallow. So we're gonna clean this up and make a little bit of trench in here, but we're not gonna go lower than 1/4 inch because these are not gashes. When the oil goes on after the planer and all this comes to life, however this character is gonna show itself is how it's gonna show itself. We just wanna make sure we're not putting oil in any type of gash that clearly never did cure correctly. Look at that. Look at that. That is gooey gump. So, how about in the video when we go to mix up the resin, we'll do a mixing video as well. That way you can get your mixing down to a perfect science. It'll cure right every time. So, we got a lot of work to do. This is going to be really cool though, really fun. And man, when this table gets done, I'm so excited for you guys to see the flip side. It's just so much character underneath there, it's not even funny. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, get all this going, get it all cleaned up, and we'll bring you back along the way and show you what's going on. Best thing on the planet. Hey, so look, this is a third option that we actually thought of, that it really, more than likely it could be. In looking at this gash, before y'all go anywhere, check this out. We always like to try to figure out what had happened and what something else had done. Look how deep that is into the gash. And you can see how sticky that is. So what I'm saying is, the reason that didn't cure, here's another avenue. Right here, I want to show you. I turn these around so you can't see the labels, okay? We're like anybody else. There's 500 different resins out here on the planet. We like both of these two for a number of reasons. So I just wanted to keep the players out of it and concentrate on what I want to show you. The difference in these two is this one on the right is a tabletop resin. It's made to be poured up to 1/8 of an inch thick. That's it. Anything more than that, it would generate too much heat. It would try to cure too fast, and the bottom portion would not cure, and it could be gunky like this. Where this guy over here is a casting resin. So it's made to pour up to, ours is made to pour up to 4 inches deep at one pour. But you can also shrink that all the way down to 1/8. This would be the correct resin to use, the casting, in all these deep gashes. You know, just like the ones right up there, all these. So another avenue, the tabletop resin could have been used in here. Okay, that would explain why the bottom of that is still tacky. But just our opinion, just trying to throw that out there at you. There's a lot of different reasons why we're staring at this the way we are, but we're going to get all these corrected and brought back pretty. And another thing I want to tell you is, I want to point out, we had that level going across here. Make sure when you're dealing with the cupping of something, you want the level to go completely from edge to edge. We had that sitting there. We already had a 4-footer going across this. That just happened to be the one I had sitting there and I used. But I didn't want you to think that's how you go about seeing. You want to be edge to edge so you can see if you're humped in the middle or if you're cupping in the middle. So just wanted to throw that out there. We'll keep y'all updated along the way. It's going to be a beautiful piece. It's going to be really cool what we do with all this.